Hello, Dennis. Good morning. Good evening. How you doing? How's everybody doing out there? All 8 of you. Everybody, spry? 7. I'm pretty good. Pretty good. Yeah. Can't complain. What about everybody else? Anybody else know how to type here? Or to say hello? Longhorns. Actually, no, I started to load a couple of streams, and for some reason they didn't work right. I didn't even turn them on. I didn't even go live. The photo was like cockeyed in one of them, and the other one the photo was horizontal. So I just wow, what's happening? So yeah, I just said, I'll delete those. I won't start them. And, I guess you got notice of that or whatever. But just the stream. The connection on this, I won't get Metphone again. I'm just basically burning off whatever time I have right now on this thing. But I don't think I'll get Metphone again. I'll try another service because the connection is bad. I mean, we're in the middle of a city. And for me, it keeps showing poor connection, poor connection, poor connection. That's not acceptable. Maybe I need to try Smart or Cell Card here, in Cambodia. Anybody want to go on a tour to Cambodia? Ding. The plan is I'm flying home. My wife had to go to work. My kids are alone. They're in school. Fidelity Quester. What's happening? How's life? How's everything going there? You're not getting in trouble? You're not tearing the city down? But yeah, my wife has to go. Well, she's already in the south of Thailand, and when my kids get home today, they were home last night alone. She left last night, and so now I'm gonna go back and make sure that they don't burn the house down or kill each other, beat each other up, tear the house apart. And then I'm just gonna wait a couple of weeks because of Christmas. Hello, Richard. How you doing? A lot of people from Hawaii watch this channel for some reason. How is the stream quality and the audio quality? I don't have a mic on. I'm just using the mic on the phone. Some num nah. Yeah, I mean, but it doesn't, I'll see my kids. I won't see my wife. But yeah, it'd be good to see my kids. And actually, my kids are like, who was it? Alex said to me yesterday, he said, oh, when you get home, we might not be home. I said, why not? Because we're going to be at the new Star Wars. So they won't even be home when I get home. They're getting to that age where they need their space. So, it's walk into their room and it's like, Yeah? What do you want? What is it? Just want to see what's up. Nothing. You know. Yeah, you know, who knows? I mean, you know, they tell me they don't chase women or anything, and I'm like, really, what's wrong with you? Nothing's wrong. Don't worry about it. I don't want to talk about it with you. Okay. You know. I didn't ever have those conversations with my father, but he never really, you know, he's not like me. He didn't, you know, prod him at all or prod me at all about it or anything like that. He just let me do my thing, which is probably what I should do with them, but I'm always teasing them, you know. So they're like, shut up. Feel like I could use another day or two here, but does anyone really have the conversation? You know, I basically asked them what they know, and they're like, do you know what a is? And they're like, yes. Okay, that's all I wanted to know. You know, but I'm sure they don't know a lot of the, you know, some of the emotional things that happen to people and to, you know, what goes on. I'm not at that point yet, you know. Once I see that they've got some chicks coming around, then maybe I'll get a little deeper into it. But they got a pretty good idea. They're pretty sharp, actually. But they're just so mellow, you know, that they're not like me at all. I mean, I was like a terror. In high school, I was an absolute terror. You know, I mean, with women, with girls, whatever, I was a terror, you know. I mean, I didn't care, you know. I was getting in fights and, you know, I was trying to screw everything that moved and, you know, Alex is almost that age. Oh, wow. I feel so lucky. I wish about 500 people would say that. But usually it's only one or two, you know. But I guess I should be grateful for that. Listen, I ask them if they watch my videos. Oh, you got a new video out? Yeah. Oh, cool. And it'll be like a 4-minute video. And they're like, after like 20 seconds, okay, yeah, man, it's good. I'm like, pfft. And my wife is even worse. The only thing that my wife cares about is, does it relate to anything about travel as far as hotel rooms or something like that? That's what she cares about. So, you know, it's like, and, you know, even like Alex said, I don't want mommy going to guitar practice because she's not that kind. She's not like a rocker. She's like into all that pop stuff, and I don't like it, and I don't think she would be right here in the rock and roll atmosphere. Oh man, that was funny. And she's like, I like rock and roll. Oh man. Oh man, I didn't get to sleep until 1. Well, you know, Nick is you know, the mama's boy. Co-pitch? No, I haven't. I gotta say, Kokut is probably one of the best places I've ever been in my life. That place was just fantastic, but I think it depends on where you stay. But there's so many islands in Thailand, and you know, you can get lost there if you got the funds and you want to stay at some little bungalow, you know, and you work out a deal. Maybe the bungalow's 600 baht a night, which is, you know, 18,000 a month. And you go, hey, you know what? I'll give you 12,500 or something, right? Or 12,000. And that you can get them to take it. I mean, you got a place like right on the beach, 12,000 baht a month, you know, which is what? That's like less than 400 bucks. you know, $370 or something, and you're right on the beach. You got a beautiful island, you know. But then the thing is that island fever sets in, you know. For me, it sets in after 4 or 5 days. You know, I start getting antsy. I bitch about all the people and everything, but I got to have some connection with people. I just don't like being in places like markets and stuff like that, you know. Yeah, I mean, listen, I've stayed in 5-star and I've stayed in, you know, tiny little huts. I mean, so it doesn't really matter to me. As long as, you know, there's no rats crawling around on the ground and cockroaches everywhere, you know. I mean, I like to stay in a place that's fairly clean. But other than that, I mean, I don't care if there's like lizards crawling around on the bamboo and stuff like that. That's fine. I'm game. So I'm thinking about that maybe a tour to Cambodia at first would be easier than Myanmar, because Myanmar's got a lot of Rabbit Island. Yeah, Rabbit Island. Yeah, I've heard of Rabbit Island, and isn't there, what's the other one? What is it? Turtle Island, or what the hell was it? No, I'm trying to think. There's a couple here. But I'm thinking about Thailand. But there's several islands here, and if you really want to go to islands, go to Indonesia. I mean, you can get lost there for. I mean, what do you think surfers do? They come, they buy their ticket, or they get a sponsor to buy their ticket. They go there and they stay there for, you know, $1,000 a month or $1,500 a month for per month for 3 months or something, and they just stay there and surf all the time, you know, get better. Indonesia's another place, you know, it's a fantastic place, but I haven't spent as much time there as I have in Cambodia and Myanmar. And Cambodia, most of Cambodia for me, I've been in Sihanoukville and a couple other places. Yeah, I don't think I can go to the mountain. I think that getting to the mountain is just a complete bitch. And not to mention it's expensive. It's very expensive. I mean, you know, like, listen, I keep saying this, but the tours to Myanmar, I mean, you're talking about almost $4,000. But you're also talking about a lot of moving parts. Cambodia in 3 weeks. Oh. Yeah, I mean, you know, Cambodia doesn't really... Good morning. Cambodia doesn't really excite me as much as it used to. Neither does Thailand. Myanmar still does, just because it's so huge. I mean, it's a big country, and it's... you know, it's still retained so much of its culture. It hasn't, you know, given in to the Western influences, which is what's happening here. Yeah, it is difficult. That's what I'm saying. That's why it's expensive, but I can get people there. It's just, I don't know if I want to do that on my first tour. That's a pretty difficult, that's a challenge. You know, there's a lot of moving parts, so it's probably better I do something a little easier. You know, like we went on the tour, we went on the thing where we went to Battambang and we went to Siem Reap, and the thing with me is that, you know, like with Angkor Wat, I've seen Angkor Wat, but okay, so let's say other people want to see it. Okay, great. You want to see it, go see it. But you know what? You're going to see it with 1,000 other people cramming in trying to take a photo of it. So you better wake up really, really early. If you're not the kind of person who likes to wake up early, you're missing out, because you're going to be stuck there with a bunch of Chinese and Russians and Americans and Brits, people from all over the world. You know, and if it's a little bit wet, you're going to be standing in the mud. That's why I like going to the Prairie here, because a lot of people don't go there. I like going to places people don't go to, but that are still very cool. You know, I mean, yesterday's place I thought was great. You know, I mean, it's good for, that was good for a half day. You wake up, just, I didn't want to wake up and go somewhere at 5 o'clock in the morning. Sometimes I do like to do that, but I didn't want to do that here because I'm worn out, man. I'm run down from traveling so much, running around all over Southeast Asia, you know. But that place was good because you could get there 10:30, 11 o'clock. It's starting to get hot. You spend a couple hours there. You chill out. You take your time. Then you go out on the water. You know, you spend an hour there. And by the time you get back, it was 4 o'clock yesterday when I got back. So, you know, that's perfect. You go at 10 o'clock. You come back at 4. You got a long half day. Very, very nice. You know, very, very nice place. What did I see? 2 or 3 foreigners at the one place? Yeah, that's the problem. You never know. You know, it's difficult to tell how is it going to be. But that's not the kind of place where a lot of people go. It's not extremely difficult. I would call that, I don't know, what do you think? I'd say it was, as far as, you know, they have, you know, easy, moderate, moderately demanding, demanding, extremely demanding. That, I would call that, I wouldn't call it easy. It's not something anybody could do. I would probably call it moderate or moderately demanding, you know. It wasn't real hard but when you're there, you got to climb around. There's rocks. You got to, if you want to go somewhere and you want to see something, you got to, yeah. I mean, you know, I would say it's moderate for most people, you know. If you're, you know, an 18, 19-year-old kid who's in good shape, you know, you were wrestling or something in high school and in college, well, then it should be pretty easy for you. It wasn't all that hard for me, so, you know, that says something. But some of the places were, like in Myanmar, were not easy. And some of the things that I did, they were not easy. No, people won't. That's the thing, you know. Do people want to really go through that? How many people want to sit in a van with a bunch of people throwing up? But if it means that you're going to get to see some stuff and go to a place that they'll never go, you'll get to see some stuff that people don't generally see, to me, it's worth it, you know. And you buy an extra ticket. Or you rent the whole van. You know what I mean? If you got a group of 4 or 5 people, 6 people. So. Now it's time to go brave the, what's it called? The Kampuchea airport. Whatever it's called. Phnom Penh Airport. It's a pretty easy airport to get in and out of and everything. I like it. It's all right. But there are a lot more people now than there used to be. And they're doing some construction outside and inside. And it's made it a little bit easier to get, a little more difficult to get around. But it's nothing, you know, I mean, it's nothing that you're going to be going, oh, this sucks. It's just a little detour here and there. And then you go, I went to go get a SIM card, and it was like, they're closed because they had shut down where the SIM cards were. And they were doing construction, so. I go home, go straight to where the glasses, where I get my glasses, get some new glasses, and go home. Hopefully my kids will be home. Be good to start traveling with them, you know. Questions, comments? Did you say what time you're getting back? What time am I getting back? 1:20, 2:30. I should be home about 4 o'clock, 4:30. Depends on traffic, because if I'm out, if I get into traffic around 3:15, I should be at that's a pretty good time. Right when I get home, the traffic's going to start getting thick. And then I'm not going anywhere probably, aside from maybe running some errands, you know, around my house. I'm probably not going to go anywhere until the end of the year, or beginning of next year. I just, you know, my wife's coming back in a couple days. She's got like 2 weeks off. And, yeah, I mean, you know, I lost track. I even forgot that yesterday was Friday. I forgot all about it. You know, my kids have school, but they only have school half day today. So that's why they get home, they're like, oh, we want to go to the movies. So they get to go to the movies, but, you know, I don't know if they'll be back or not. But I think Alex has a guitar lesson. So they have to do that first. They're going to go together, go to his guitar lesson, go do the movies. And I don't want to see Star Wars, so. Is it the same guys in Star Wars? The, you know, Harrison Ford and Mark Hamill and all those people? Or is it some new people? Ugh. Nobody talks. There's like 3 people that talk all the time. I could have 50 people on here. I'm not asking for a spoiler. All I want to know is who is in the movie. Yeah, I mean, I haven't kept up either. That's what happens when you get old. You don't give a shit about that kind of stuff. But I was just wondering, because, I mean, Harrison Ford is, he's got to be 70 or something like, yeah, a lot of people don't know. He's got to be 70. I know Carrie Fisher's dead. I do know that. Princess Leia has went to the afterlife. Mark Hamill's in it. He looks pretty old. Even he looks really, really old. He looked young in the first one, but, you know, that's the thing. Everybody shows their age eventually. $75. Holy shit. What about R2-D2? Oh, I remember going to see that flick when I was a kid. It was just like, wow. Oh my God. What a great movie. Now I'm like, I can barely stand to watch anything, you know. What do I watch? I watch Sopranos whenever I'm bored. I watch Entourage. I watch Deadwood. These are all old. What's that new show? There's some show on about these guys who are, they go out with their cameras and, yeah, me too. With their cameras and, at the Twinkerbell. Is that where you are? Yeah, Cocoon is nice, man. Yeah, I don't know what happened to Deadwood, man. That was a great movie, a great show. You know what the best part of that whole show was? The best part of that show was when the guy had a blockage. What was it? A blockage of his pecker. He had some kind of a blockage, and I think, if I remember correctly, there was a lady like sticking her finger up his ass or something, and he was going nuts because it hurt him so bad. I forget exactly what it was, but that's the And he was, you know, he was just in sweats and just terrible. That was the main guy, Ian something or other. That guy's a fantastic actor. That's a great show, but I don't know why they cut it off. They should. Whatever happened to Hell on Wheels? I started watching it. I'm like, oh, this is a good show. Then, like, I was like, man, I'm losing. You know what happens is they put too much time in between the seasons. I don't want to wait 9 months or a year for another season. You know what I mean? It's too long. Yeah, Deadwood is Western. Deadwood's still around. It's the city's still around. It's just still a small city. Same with Tombstone and all those other places. I looked into it. I was like, I wonder what it's like to live there. You know, I'm always looking for stuff like live streams and stuff like that of places like that. Yeah, I've been there too. I've been there. It was a long time ago though. I was about 18 or 19, something like that. I don't know why anyone would want to live there. Westworld. Yeah. Went on a bus. The guy was telling black jokes. 1900s. The Old West was a fascinating time. And what I like about that show also is how they had the Chinese guy who was like he was the opium distributor. He was the guy who got the opium, and he handled all the Chinese, and he ran the opium dens and in the town and everything, or den, and that was pretty good. You know, that's real life back then. You know, it's just you. It's you. Uncle. Oh, Jesus Christ. So, yesterday was fun. We don't really. No, not anymore. We may, like, we have a little tree, you know, a little plastic tree with all kinds of decorations. We may, what we do sometimes, I don't know what we did last year. I don't think we did anything. Just because everybody was busy and they didn't really care. But we may, like, take out the tree and everybody buys one present. You know, everybody gets a present. You know, like the 3 people, you know, like me and my kids will get something from my wife. My wife and the kids will get something from me. You know, everybody gets like 1 present or 2 presents or something, but not like when I was a kid, you know, where it's like, you know, the whole Christmas tree has got presents and there might be a bike and, you know, it's not like that. We just don't do it. I mean, you know, we need something, we just get it. You know, it's more about need instead of want. This room is comfortable. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, once Santa Claus became a non-entity, once I realized he wasn't real, Christmas is not the same. I do like the Grinch. I do like the whole, you know, the Grinch stole Christmas and that kind of thing. I like that. Does this thing work? Why wasn't it does work. Is there any water in this? Would like some tea or something. Hang on a second. I've got my little tea thing. Ah, shit. Oh, you son of a bitch. Oh. I got PG tips at home, which I learned about when I was on my first trip to Jesus Christ, to Great Britain. It's not my favorite drink. I thought maybe I'd go over to the, hey, you know, Longhorns, I sent you a little thing of the coffee. Ethiopian coffee. Really good coffee. I mean, you don't need to put sugar. I never put sugar or whatever in my espresso, but that coffee is not an espresso. And they just serve it in a little espresso glass, and it tastes so good. I was like, I had to go back. And I actually said to the guy, what time do you open this morning? He's, tomorrow, 9 o'clock. So I was thinking about stopping there on the way to the airport and having an espresso or, a little coffee, but probably not going to do that. Guy probably thinks I'm nuts over coffee. Go around educating people about what an espresso is. An espresso is not 8 ounces of water. It's not a big cup of coffee. That would be called an Americano. I gotta teach people everywhere, even in Thailand. I was like, don't serve espresso if you don't know what it is. If you're gonna serve a meal or a drink, at least know what it is. I get a little bitchy that way. You should have seen though. I'm telling you, I was in that restaurant, the Riverside restaurant, which is right down the street here, with the guy that I don't really like. I don't particularly like him, just because I don't like how he treats his staff. He's always yelling and screaming at him, and he's either drunk or he's just a piece of shit, man. But anyway, the girl gave me the coffee there, and I was like, it was like this. And I was like, honey, that's not an espresso. I don't want an espresso like that. That's not an espresso. Oh. And she just kind of left it there. And I was waiting for her. And I ate my whole meal, and, I'm sitting there. I'm like, I'm not drinking it. I'm not even eating a little cookie off of there. I'm not doing any of that. I don't want it, And finally I told her, I don't want this. I'll give you another one. Let me give you another one. Of course, the dude probably makes her pay for it. Which I felt bad about, but not that bad. So if you got a coffee shop, well, that's how it is in Asia. You break something and you're one of the staff, you break something, you got to pay for it in many places. You cost the company money, you got to reimburse them. Well, that's the whole point. I don't generally drink, like foo-foo drinks or mixed drinks. I don't drink a lot of that stuff. I don't drink much, but when I drink, usually, I did drink the rum and Coke, but it was very good. But most of the time, I don't drink drinks like that. I drink a shot because I don't want to drink a lot. I don't want the volume to be... Why does that not surprise me? I don't want the volume to be great, so I just want the little shot. So give me a shot of tequila. Give me a shot of strong, coffee, espresso. That's what I like. Tea's a different story. because it's watered down. It's, you know, you can weaken it. Although I don't particularly like this tea as much as PG Tips, but it's pretty good. You think about everything that's involved with tea and what it means to the world economy. It's pretty incredible. Same with coffee. It's too hot though. Oh. So anybody coming to Thailand or Cambodia in February, March, or April? Yeah, well, that's a big deal. That's a big deal. If they put whiskey in your Coke and you ask for a Coke, and what they're trying to do is make you pay more, that's bullshit. I would have been like, what the hell is this? This thing away from me. I don't particularly like whiskey anyway. February, 2 weeks. Well, I don't think I'm going to put a tour on in February yet, but we'll see. It's going to happen. Where's Lori? What is it right now? It's 3, 6, 9, 1:10 p.m. She's probably working. Five times? You let him get away with it 4 times? You drank the whiskey? I don't know what was up with Mr. Pia yesterday when he dropped me off. You know, I paid him. You got paid, you know, very well, too well. And I mean, you know, he's a nice guy and everything, but I overpaid him for sure. But that's okay. You know, he was a good dude. But anyway, I was like, okay, I want to be at the airport by 12 o'clock. What time do you think we should leave? What time you leave? I said, 1:20. Okay, we leave 12 o'clock. I said, no, we're not going to leave at 12 o'clock. We're not going to leave at 12 o'clock because if we leave at 12 o'clock, we're not going to get there until 12:30 or 1 o'clock. I'm going to miss my flight, or I'm not going to be able to get through customs. Oh, okay. I said, how about we leave at 11 o'clock? How about 11:30? I said, if we leave at 11:30, you're telling me it's going to take an hour because he's like, traffic. It will be 12:30 by the time we get there. I've got to go through customs. I've got to go through immigration. And you're supposed to check in like 40 minutes beforehand. So I was like, how about we leave at 11 o'clock? 11 o'clock. How about we leave at 12? And I said, oh, fuck me. I'm like, listen, just be here at 11 o'clock. That's all. Just be here at 11 o'clock. Don't worry about what time I'm going to leave. Just, I want you here at 11 o'clock, okay? Okay. Boom. Okay, thank you. You know, funny little guy. Nice guy, you know. Good driver. He speaks good English, you know, pretty good English. Which is a plus. If you've ever been on a motorbike or a tuk-tuk where the guy doesn't speak a word of English, and you're like, no, go to the left. Have I ever seen the bodybuilder Thailand? I don't know the bodybuilder Thailand. No. I know there are bodybuilders in Thailand, and I've seen a few of them. What are my thoughts on steroids? What am I supposed to say? What kind of fucking question is that, really? What are your thoughts on steroids? Oh, okay, go ahead and use them. I mean, do whatever you want, dude. It's your body. I don't give a shit what they do. It's a YouTube channel. I don't know. No, I've never seen it. I've never seen. I don't know who he is. What do you mean in Thailand? I don't understand. I don't. There are bodybuilders in Thailand that I've seen and that I know. Thais. What's the name of that place? It's on Asok. There's a guy who used to compete all the time. He's a Thai guy. He owns the, what was it, the supplement company or whatever the hell it is. And I used to go there for my boxers and for me a long time ago. But I don't know any channel, no. And as far as steroids go, you know, for me, I don't want to take them. I mean, I don't want to take them in the sense that I'm taking them for bodybuilding purposes. Oh God! Is it as loose as you hear? Dude, can you find them? Yes. Do I recommend it? No, not really. Okay? Can people do it? Yeah, of course. It's not hard to find this stuff. And you know, listen, if I really wanted to source stuff out for people like that, I could do it. It's very simple. Okay? I know a lot of places that sell stuff like that. But would I get involved? Would I personally get involved in it in any way, even like shooting it up if I was lifting weights? No, I wouldn't. I've had guys who had HGH, stuff from China, you know, and it really did a lot for the guy. But once he stopped using it, then, you know, he went to shit. He couldn't do nearly what he you know, he didn't look nearly the same. I don't really like, I mean, you know, I barely like, is it easy to come by? You can find it. That's all I'll say. Easy, you can go to, I mean, you know, if you go down to like a pharmacy down like by where I live, they're going to be like, what? No. Go into a little area in Pattaya or down by, you know, Nana. There will be guys that have it. You can find it. You know, don't get caught with it. I know somebody who got caught leaving. He had flown in from Thailand. He brought a whole suitcase full of shit. He went into the United States, and then he was getting ready to cross into Canada, and they stopped him, and they took everything, and they just basically... they held him for like 24 hours, and, you know, they were going to try him or whatever. They were trying to determine whether they're going to file charges, and they just let him go. He got lucky. But, you know, I told him he was a fucking idiot. And, you know, he's a friend of mine, this guy, and he did that. He carried some stuff for somebody. And what gets me is that he's still friends with one of the guys who, you know, gave him the stuff, and you basically used him to carry the shit and try to make money off of him because he was desperate for money. And I was like, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. He did it. You know. But, you know, as far as my opinion on what people do with steroids or whatever, to me, it's up to them. You know. Do whatever they want. They want to use it, go use it. Whatever. They want to use HGH, use it. Now, in a sports, in a competitive atmosphere, no, that's a different story. If they say, okay, everyone can use it, then I would say, okay, well, you know, fine. But like, oh, I want to hit more home runs. Oh, I want to be able to beat the shit out of this guy and train harder and, you know, be stronger. So, you know, like, what's his name? Chael Sonnen or, you know, Anderson Silva and all these guys who have done stuff like that. To me, that's cheating, you know. I mean, me getting a testosterone shot, that's a steroid. But it's under doctor supervision, and it's not used for reasons of cosmetics. You know what I mean? But I mean, you know, here in Thailand, in Asia, if you really want something, you can get it. But it's not always going to be easy, and it might cost you. But steroids is something that it's pretty easy, actually. I mean, you know, it's not a big deal. I'd like to try HGH to see if it would take pain away and make you feel better, not for lifting anything. Yeah, I mean, I did think about it. I thought, well, you know, what's the harm? And I started talking to some doctors, and they were like, I wouldn't recommend it. Every one of them said I wouldn't recommend it, and I said, yeah, but you know, there's a reason why people are doing it. Yeah, because it's artificial and it makes them feel better and everything, but then they have to take it all the time. It's not like it's going to make you that way for the rest of your life, and you just take it for, you know, a month, and you have to know how much to use and all that other kind of stuff. Yeah, I understand, but they're used in a different manner. And first of all, like with birth control, you know, I mean, I don't know. I think there's other ways, you know. But it beats the pulling out method. And what was that one guy's name? Mike Metzger? Or who was the guy he just went to complete shit after he had not Ed Corney. I thought it was Mike Metzger, but maybe I was wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. It could have been somebody else. You know, that from that circle, from Schwarzenegger, Zane, Franco Colombo, all that era. Maybe a little bit after that era, and I thought he almost lost his leg or something. I forget what it was, but he really was in bad shape. You know. But I mean, look at Arnold now compared to how he used to look. You know. He doesn't look anything like he used to now. He's old. I mean, I understand that, but you know. Yeah, you know, I mean, well, I don't know if he's gone to hell. I mean, you know, he's an old man now. What are you going to do? How many old men look like Clarence Bass? I don't know if anybody knows who Clarence Bass is. If you know anything about bodybuilding, you know this guy. He actually wrote me. Oh, he's got to be in his 80s now. He wrote me like 10 years ago. I wrote him and asked him. No, he's white. He's a little bald-headed white guy, but he's completely shredded, and it's all natural supposedly. I believe him. You know, but you know, all you got is your reputation, I guess. But he's completely shredded. You know, muscular, very, very, very vascular. Nice guy. I mean, he basically told me, this was after my accident when I fell, and I was asking him what the hell to do, you know, and what kind of stuff to do, and he said, you know, focus on the core exercises. Don't try to, you know, don't try to overdo it and do stuff where you're like, you know, oh, I want to get my arms better and my chest. I'm going to work on my chest, and you know, don't do that. Just do. I mean, you know, stuff like, that's why you see these chicks who they look really good, and all they do is they go hiking on the weekends, and maybe 2 or 3 times during the week they go for long walks, or they run, you know, they go jog in the park or something, and they look good, you know, and that's because they're doing exercises that works their entire body, as opposed to, you know, I'm gonna go do my biceps today, you know. I mean, that's great and everything, but something to be said for things like hiking and swimming that work every part of your body. I like Franco. Franco, man. Franco. Yeah, well, proper diet, that's proper diet and exercise. They go hand in hand. And if you can't exercise, then you better have a proper diet. And I mean, I know that better than anybody. And the thing is that sometimes I'm like, you know what? Do I want to have that piece of birthday cake? You know, sometimes I'm like, man, I don't know how much longer I'm going to live. What am I going to do? I'm going to go, no, I'm not going to have it. Sometimes you should say no. Sometimes you got to deny yourself, but why does it go? See, I haven't moved at all, and now it went from okay connection, poor connection, now to very bad connection. The tea is good, though. I'm trying to move this. I wonder if I open up the window. Let's see. What the hell? Oh, they got stuck in there. Stop. I'm not gonna bust it open. No, that didn't help. Anybody still here? Is the connection okay, or is it very bad? Looks very bad to me. Now it's good. It's got to be, and this is 3G, 4G. It just went like from very bad connection to good connection. Yeah, I noticed it was crooked. It's going downhill. Yeah, you feel better now? There you go. Go out of my way to make everybody happy here. Just get it out of the light. I noticed it right when I walked in. I was like, can't they get the picture straight? I mean, you know, doesn't the maid look at that? I got to say that I was talking to my buddy yesterday, which is, there's a guy who is, I'm not going to get into who it is or anything, but he's been helping me about the tours. And he's the one who's been telling me that you need to try to simplify everything, especially the first time you do one, because, well, this is 3G and 4G. It's not Wi-Fi or anything like that, so I don't know. To me, the connection has been barely acceptable. But we were talking, and he's telling me about the tours and everything, but we did bring up about how he's got somebody that he knows who lives here. He was talking about the tuk-tuk drivers and everything like that and the standard of service. And I said, well, like, I had something from the minibar, and the girl, started doing doing my room and everything. I said, hey, make sure that you replace what was in the minibar. Some peanuts, cashews. I was like, I might want them again. Okay. And then, there was a drink. I had something to drink. So there's like two things. I was like, please put them back. Okay, I'll be back in a few minutes. She never came back. Then I look, and I only had one towel. And I'm like, where's the other towel? I'm like, I don't have a hand towel. What's going on here? They had taken the hand towels they must have thought they were dirty, but they didn't replace them. So I called up about the minibar, and I said, can you please replace the stuff in the minibar? And they don't have a housekeeping number. They just have the number downstairs, reception. So I said, please. So then they called me back. I'm sorry, but housekeeping's went home. And I said, you got to replace it. Please bring up the stuff and replace it. And then I noticed they didn't have the towels. I'm like, what the hell? Where's the towels? I'm like, you clean my room, but you don't put the towels up. I'm like, what's the deal? What is this? Oh. And so, I was talking to my buddy last night. He goes, we were talking about tipping and stuff like that. He goes, listen, they like you to tip. They like that you're American because you always tip. He's like, their people don't tip. I'm like, yeah, I know. It's just like in Thai, they very seldom tip, 15 or 20%. So I was thinking about it, and I said, I was going to leave like $1 or $1.50 for every day that they cleaned my room, as a tip. And then I thought, you know what? Like 3 times they didn't have shit and they didn't bring shit for me. And they told me they'd bring it and they never showed up. And they didn't, you know, they didn't take the towels. And then I had to call them one day to come clean my room. I was like, God damn it, it's 8 o'clock at night. You didn't clean my room. I'm like, what's the deal? You know? So now I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. I ain't going to leave them a tip. Why would I leave them a tip for that? They give shitty service, they get no tip. You know? And we all got to eat, but you got to do something to earn it, you know? So, while I would say for $40, this hotel is it's priced about right. I mean, I see they're stretching it to get 40. 40 is okay. I would say more like, you know, in my mind, more like 1,000 baht, so like $33 or something. That would be about right. But you know, this is Cambodia, and they try to stretch everything because of the dollar and all that. So $40, I would say, you know, I mean, like, it's not that much money for a hotel, but you can get rooms for 20 that are close to being as good as this. So, you know, Ohana, it's the Ohana Hotel. It's okay, you know, that's what I would say. And I don't really like leaving negative comments on, yeah, well, here's the thing, and you know this. Why do you have to tip just to get decent service? You know, that's the thing. I'm not opposed to tipping. I mean, you know, listen, like I said, we all got to eat, and, you know, sometimes that's their bread and butter. But when they don't do something, when they don't do what they're supposed to do, why should you give them a tip? It's their job to do this. You know what I mean? And I'm not trying to be a prick. I'm just saying, you know. Because I can't remember the last time I haven't left a tip for the maid, you know, for housekeeping. Yeah, well, they need motivation. Well, that I'm not, you know, if you want me to motivate you, then pay me. I'll be your motivator. You know, pay me and I'll help. I'll be your Anthony Robbins. You know, but until then, I'm not supposed to have to teach them how to be motivated. You know what I mean? Well, you know, of course. But again, you're missing the point, though. I mean, I understand what you're saying, and maybe you're not missing the point. But the point is, you shouldn't have to give them a tip to make sure that they clean your room and they do a decent job, and that they bring you clean towels. If they can't do that, then, you know, like, maybe that's why their hotel is only $40 and it's not 50 or 60, because their staff sucks. You know, I mean, listen, I went upstairs day before yesterday, and we had breakfast, and I always do this. I did this in Myanmar, and they told me, at first they told me no, and then they told me yes, but you have to pay. And I said, okay, no problem. I said, you know what, I really don't, the ladies, okay, would you like a coffee, sir? No, you know, I don't want a coffee, but could you give me an espresso? And, yeah, you see? I said, you know, please, can I have an espresso? And, oh, no, you can't have an espresso here. I said, what do you mean? I said, I'll pay for the espresso. What is it, $1, $2? I think in Myanmar it was $1.50, and here it's $1. So, you know, I go upstairs and I'm like having my breakfast, and the breakfast is okay. It's not fantastic, but it's okay. You know, it's decent. I would say, you know, it's free, so for a free breakfast, it's acceptable. It's decent. You can get a nice omelet, you know, toast, yogurt, so it's fine. But I said to the lady, "Can I have an espresso in a small glass?" "Oh no, Can we done do espresso here? The fucking espresso machine is sitting right next door. It's right next door. It's right there. Yeah, I actually thought about that place because I saw it, and that's, I don't know how old it is, but I don't remember seeing it. And I thought, oh, I wonder how much that place is. But, you know, it really depends. I mean, you could be in a $20 place and you won't have that problem. Or you could be in a $100 place and you'll have the problem. It just depends on the staff, how they're trained, the person. But anyway, so then, you know, like I walked away. I said, the lady goes, oh, no, can't do it. And I said, fuck it, you know. I don't care. I walked, go sit down. And she goes, sir. Oh, I give you espresso, but you have to pay $1. I said, that's okay. You know, sure, no problem. And I said, but put it in a small glass. And what does she do? She puts it in a regular fucking glass. And then I said, no, that's not what I want. So what does she do? She gets the big glass, and she pours and fills up the small glass, and then pours out the rest of the coffee. And I was like, oh, God. And I was like, you know what? I'm not going to make a big deal about it. It's not worth it, you know. But that's the kind of stuff that, I mean, you even get that in Thailand. And Thailand's tourist industry is far more established than it is here. So it's going to happen here for a long time. I mean, they're going to have these kind of growing pains and cultural problems for, I'd say, another 5-10 years at least. But yeah, I always struggle with hotels here because it always depends how much cash I feel like parting with. But I mean, you know, I've stayed in some places that were $100. I've stayed in some places that were $15, $18, and they were every bit as good as this place. In fact, the rooms were bigger, but it was a little farther away, which is the whole thing. If you want to, for me, I like to stay right on the river because everything is right there. You don't have to get a motorbike. You don't have to get a guy to take you around, you know. Occupational incompetence. Yep. That's what it is. Well, let's see. My charger is charging, so I should be able to make it home no problem, listening to music and watching movies on the plane. No problem. I downloaded some stuff from Netflix. So, I'm set. Other than those little minor issues, though, the place is pretty good. Oh, 4 days. Which is enough. Which is enough, really. There's really only... I really only have 1 or 2 things that I want to do in Cambodia left to do. And then I've done pretty much everything I want to do here. Aside from, you know, putting on a tour. I've pretty much gone everywhere and done everything that I want to do in this country. Maybe I'd like to spend a little more time, you know, by Sihanoukville. I've only been there twice. But, you know, that's what traveling's all about. You know, you go to different places. You go to the same places every once in a while that you like. And it'll happen. All in good time. Yeah, I did put some pictures up, I think, on, what did I put it up on? Instagram and Facebook. 1 or 2 pictures I think I put up. Maybe another one's going up at 12 o'clock. But I did get some good pictures, some good portraits of the older ladies that I dealt with yesterday. The kids that I dealt with yesterday. The old lady from the first day. Yeah, I got some good photos. So I got some stuff to go through. But as soon as I get back, I'm going to start working on the little photo zine, you know, like a little mini photo book. I'm not knackered, old man. I'll be knackered when I get back to Thailand. I will be. I'll probably sleep on the plane. You know. Ladies were a hassle. 2:30 a.m. Yeah. 1 a.m. Yeah, it was about 1. What do you mean ladies were a hassle? What are you talking about over there? Ladies what? First of all, any of my tours, you know, you want to deal with the ladies, that's all, you're on your own. I'm not your mangda, you know. I'm not the pimp. I'm not the, you know. I'm not going to procure that for you. You got to do that kind of stuff on your own. Oh, yeah, those ladies. Oh, excuse me. Well, now that I got that out there. Oh, those ladies, man, they were a killer, man. They were like little tigresses. You know, they're like 36 kilos. But they're like, you know, Papa, money, Papa, you give me money. And then it's like, you know, I gave one to somebody that's standing right next to him. And, you know, and it's like they're giving me the look like, you bastard. Fuck. You know. What did I give him? 100. I gave him 100 real or something just to get him away from me. I gave him 100 real. Something like that. I always try to, if there's somebody really needy, I always try to give a little because first of all, it makes you feel good. But second of all, because it might make a big difference in their life. So, you know, you give $1 or $5 or even $10 to somebody and maybe it makes them have a decent day where they get to eat a good meal or something. You know, I mean, it's the least I can do. But like when you got 40 of them and they're all 90 years old and they're like harassing you, you know, where you're like, hey, lady, can you get the fuck out of my way? I mean, you know, please, you know, I know you might live at this temple, but you know what? The temple's not yours. You don't own it. It's not your house. So could I please take a photo? You know, I'm trying to take a photo here. And then you feel like a dick, you know. At least I did. You know, you're telling some old lady, scram, lady. Anyway, I got 3 minutes. If there's anybody with any questions, comments, let it be said now. Boiled eggs, peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. What am I doing in April? Well, I guess I could be putting on a tour, Steve. You know, I mean, my plans are flexible. Well, let's put it that way. My plans are flexible. Plans are flexible. I'm still thinking about it, you know. But I definitely would like to do it. Actually, and like I've been saying, I do think simpler is going to be easier for you know, I don't want to have something as a first tour that's 20 different legs for somebody to get somewhere. You know, I don't want them to have to get on the bicycle. Why don't you do a food photo tour? Anyone like to do a food photo tour in your followers? I think they all like to eat. Everybody likes to eat. You could do, that's the thing. You know, I could do something like a mixture of food and photo, a food and photo tour. But what I was getting at is that, you know, I don't think people want to, generally you got to fly into Thailand. Most people will fly into Thailand. Fly into Thailand, then fly to Yangon, then fly to some other place, then get on a, you know, like a little tuk-tuk, and then get on a boat, and then get off and have some little kid with his pet elephant take you to another place, and then, you know, you get on the four-wheel drive, you know, and it takes you 3 days just to get to one place. I think on at least until I figure out what kind of people are willing to do that, I think I should stick with a little more simple and mainstream kind of a tour. But a mainstream kind of a tour, however, oh, I don't look like Mark Wiens, pal. I don't think he thinks he looks like me either. But, you know, places that most people don't go, maybe with a little stop somewhere where some people do go. I think that's a good idea. But, you know, we don't want to overcomplicate things because there's no reason for that. Because, you know, what you don't want to do, not everybody wants to be like me bouncing around on a train for, you know, 18 or 20 hours. So, you know, I want to keep it fun. So that's why, you know, I've had a little change of thinking, at least for now. I think somewhere in Myanmar or Cambodia that's a little more straightforward and easier for people to go to. You know, you go for 5 days, 7 days, and you have a great time. And it's something new, something that, you know, like your buddy in the office can't go, oh, I've been there before. You know, that's the idea, so. But anyway, well, you know, listen, Mark Wiens has got a good channel. He's got a good thing going on. I mean, you know, he did his thing, and you know, it's not my cup of tea. You know, his channel's not my cup of tea. But you know, he's successful for a reason. So, you know, you shouldn't hate on him. But not all food is amazing. I will say that. You know, I mean, you know, I've had a few things just on this trip alone, and trips in Myanmar that taste like shit. And I had some goat's brain. If my wife is listening, haha, yes, you kissed me, and my mouth has eaten goat's brain. When she found out, she went, I don't want to kiss you now because it's like I think about you and your goat's brain. Yeah, I mean, you know, I don't think he's a bad guy. He's just not everybody's cup of tea, just like I'm not everybody's cup of tea. So, you know, whatever. This is saying there's no reason to bag on anybody on another channel, you know. I mean, I really don't care because I got my own issues. I got my own goals, my own problems, my own set of things that I want to accomplish. I'm too busy to be worrying about what everybody else is doing, you know. Very seldom do I watch any other YouTubers from Thailand, or really from Asia. I mean, I don't watch them at length. You know, I may watch one or two, and I may not watch another one for months. So, but anyway, I got to get going because I got to be checking out in another 10 minutes and get to the airport, get back home where I can relax and sleep in my own bed, take a dump on my own toilet or in my own toilet, and see my kids and stuff. So anyway, thank you very much. Thank you, Dennis. Thank you, Longhorns. Thank you, everybody here. Let me see, Twa, Steve, You know, Cheerful Nomad. I'm trying to look here. Ben, Fidelity Quester, of course. Jared. All the people. Anyway, Josh. I'm trying to see here. Yeah. Okay, I already said all these people. So anyway, that's all I got. I got to go. Until next time, I should be streaming, well, I think tomorrow, but I'll put something up on Facebook. Until next time, I'm Scott. I'm an American in Bangkok. No, I'm in Phnom Penh for right now. Chok di, lat, jerkin mai. Ta-ta. Adios. Arrivederci. See you later. Talk to you all soon.